Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lillian Uja and I share content around my lifestyle here in Canada, how you can come to Canada if that's what you want to do, different routes that are available for immigration to Canada, and also tips and tricks on how you can also come to Canada. So today I want to talk about, is it okay to come to Canada with a visitor's visa with the intention to transition to a work permit? If you want to know the answer to this or my answer to this, then keep watching. Now, yes, because it is possible to come to Canada with a visitor's visa and change it to a work permit while you're in Canada. Yes, also because there's a policy that addresses this, that says you can come to Canada, get a job, and change your work permit. No, because it is not as easy as it seems, So, for this particular situation, a lot of things have triggered this. I recently stumbled on a video that was addressing this particular concern, and he was explaining that his name is Choco Millionaire. Let me give him accolades for that. Complaining about a lot of people reaching out to him saying that they are here in Canada with a visitor's visa and they want to transition to a work permit. So it seems like there has been a rise in recent times, because I've also been getting those calls. People have sent me DMs that they are coming to Canada with a visitor's visa and they're hoping that they can transition. Some have even said I should help them transition to work permit, and I laugh. I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm not licensed. I do not help people to transition. I do not help people to get visas. I only share information that I find, and these are information in the public space that you can also do your research on. Okay, so guys, a lot of people have been sending me messages as well, asking if they can come to Canada. Some have said they already have their visitor's visas, and they want to come to Canada to get a job. It is possible to come to Canada with a visitor's visa and look for a job. Upon getting a job, transition to a work permit. What is the issue in this particular thing or situation is the fact that it is not easy. It is not as easy as it seems. A lot of videos are on the internet, on the YouTube channel. People are talking about how you can come into Canada as a visitor and get a job and change to work permit. Some people add more to it and say there are free accommodation available, free meals. When I see these captions, I laugh because honestly, these things are not true. You need to do your due diligence. I always emphasize on doing your research. Even when you listen to what I tell you, still research on it. You need to do your own research and be sure that the information you are hearing on this channel are also true. Do not fall for anything you see on the internet. So many people are desperate for the clicks, for the likes, for the views, that they put up anything just to attract people to their channel. But the truth is, if you hear any information, please verify that information before taking action. Don't fall for anything you see. You need to understand that a visitor visa has the restrictions to it. And the restriction to a visitor's visa is that you cannot work while in Canada. You cannot have a bank account while in Canada. You cannot have access to healthcare while in Canada. So these are some of the restrictions that are on the visitor's visa. So if you must come in with a visitor's visa with the intention to get a work permit, please have these things in mind. Please come with enough money, because you will not even be allowed to operate a bank account. You know that the visitor's visa has just a maximum of 6 months duration. So it means that you cannot stay in Canada above 6 months. Whatever thing that brings you to Canada must take you out before 6 months. And if for any reason you must exceed 6 months, you have to file for a visitor's record. How do you convert your visitor's visa to a work permit? The first thing is, when you get into Canada, you need to have a job. So you need to look for an employer who is willing to employ you. Okay, and this can only be done by an LMIA. So an employer that is willing to employ you and also give you an LMIA. Now, one thing about the LMIA, I've said it before on this channel, is that the LMIA document is difficult to get. Now, it's not so easy to get because the employers have to apply for these LMIAs. And the employer has to prove that he has not been able to find anyone who he can employ here in Canada to do this job. Guys, a lot of people are here right now who have documents, who have work permits, who are permanent residents, and do not have a job. The employer has to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he has not been able to find anyone to recruit for that role. Like he has published this opening in any of this in a public website, a public domain for at least a period of 90 days, and he has not found anyone. He has to show proof of emails coming in and all of those things. Now he also has to make payments for this document, about $1,000. So now, if these people know that they can find people in Canada who have the right documents to work for them, why would they want to go through this rigorous stress to recruit someone when they might even be able to find a better fit here in Canada? You want to think about this. So the LMIA documents might not be easy to get. So you might not be easily get an employer to employ you while you are a visitor in Canada. Out of 100 people, you might say maybe 95% of people do not get it. So about 5% of people who are strategic get this document or get this job with a visitor's visa and transition to a work permit. Now, what is my advice? What advice am I giving to you? I'm not saying that you should not come in with a visitor's visa with an intention to transition to a work permit. That is not why I'm here. I'm only saying that if you must come with a visitor's visa with the intention that you are coming here to find a job and also to get a work permit, please note these things. You must be tactical. You must be strategic. You must know what you want to do before even applying for the visa. You must know what you want to do before coming to Canada. You can't just come with, I heard, they said, I watched it on a video, someone said. Number 2, you must be strategic. How do you become strategic? How strategic can you get? I always tell people to use if you have the money, because these things, if you want to migrate, guys, you will spend money. There is money involved in these things. If you want to consult an immigration consultant, you will spend money. They will charge you for their time. If you want to consult agents, there are agents in Canada who have access to these LMIA jobs, guys. I know there are agents like that. I don't know them, guys, so don't come to my inbox to ask me to connect you to them. I don't know them, but I know they are people like that. That is why you should do your research. There are agents who have connections to these jobs. Some of them will connect you to these employers, but they will want to get paid for it. Okay, so these are the places where you have to do your research on. Who are these agents? But please be careful so you don't fall into the wrong hands. So you might want to use these people who already know their ways in Canada to get this LMIA job. Remember that you don't have time because you have 6 months duration and you must leave this country before 6 months expires. If not, you become illegal. Number 3 advice I want to give to you is have a map out plan. Map out your plan, have it written down. What would you do if you come here and you look for a job, you don't get a job? You are looking for an immigration consultant, you don't find them. What other plans do you have? Of places where you will find LMIA jobs, where they are willing to give LMIA jobs, are in the rural parts of Canada. Not in the big cities, guys. Do not think that you come into Canada and want to stay in Toronto, you want to stay in Vancouver, you want to stay in BC, you want to stay in Montreal, you want to stay in Alberta. You cannot find these jobs. You might not find these jobs in the big cities, in Calgary. You would have to go to the rurals. The rural communities where they have few people, few population, where people are not coming to, where they are looking for people to work. There are places like this in Canada where they are looking for people to come and work for them. In such places, if you go to these employers in these locations when you're in Canada and tell them you're ready to work for them, they can go out of their way to get you an LMIA. I can tell you that. They can go out of their way to get you an LMIA. But first thing, you need to be in Canada to do this, okay? So don't think that you want to stay with your friends or families in the big cities. You want to stay where your friends are. You want to, stay in the big, where there is life and all that. No. If you have to come to Canada through this route, you must map out your plan. You cannot go to a big city. Remember this. Now, another thing you want to do, which is the fourth advice I want to give you, if you are almost running, or if you don't want to go through all of these rigors, then consider the study route. Consider applying for a study permit while you are in Canada. You could get admission into any school in Canada, and then you can go on to apply for your study permit visa. Okay, so when you get the visa, you can come to Canada or stay in Canada, remain in Canada, and school in Canada. Upon graduation, you apply for a permanent residence, and then you can get a good job, of course. That's another strategy I want to give you. And the last advice I would give you, if you have done all of these things, if you have gone through all of these things I have mentioned, you've tried everything and nothing has worked, and you are about to exceed 6 months, or you are about to clock 6 months in Canada, please exit Canada. Exit Canada, go back home to your country. Ensure that you are not illegal in this country, because it will hamper on your future plans if you have any plans to come back in future. Do not allow Canada see you as someone who doesn't keep to their words. You told them at the beginning when you came in that you are a visitor. You have to remain a visitor. And guys, one other thing I want you to know is that if you come in as a visitor, you can't rent a house. You can't open a bank account as a visitor. You cannot have access to health care. So if you want to stay in Canada for almost 6 months or looking for a way out to get a work permit, how would you get accommodation? If you have a family member who is in Canada who wants to accommodate you, some people are not willing to accommodate you more than 2 months, guys, because the bills here is a lot. Not everyone is that accommodating to keep you in their house, feed you for more than 4 months, 5 months. So you want to consider this. So that's why I said at the beginning of this video that you should bring your money. The second thing I want you to know is that you cannot operate a bank account. And if you cannot operate a bank account, guys, how do you want to pay for rent if you decide to get a house of your own? Which landlord is going to give you a house when you don't have a job? Because for one of the criteria for giving you accommodation by landlords here in Canada is that you have a job that they can verify and they can see how much you earn. So if some landlords will tell you, okay, if you can pay for 4 months upfront, they will give you the house. That can happen. That's why you need to have a lot of money. You're not in this circle that have a lot of money, and you want to come to Canada, and you don't have so much money to pay upfront for 4 months. What landlord will give you a house without a job? Now, lastly, guys, while you're in Canada, you cannot access healthcare except you want to pay out of pocket. And guys, out of pocket is expensive. Recently, 2 days ago, we had to go to the doctor to get a report for my son, who is just 1 year and 6 months, because his daycare, the daycare I want to put him in, required that a doctor gives a report. Guys, I thought it was going to be free because we have free healthcare, guys. Now, but when we got to the doctor, we were told that service is a paid service that we have to pay out of pocket. Guys, just because the medical doctor wrote 3 lines on my son's reports for the daycare, we were asked to pay $50 for just that report. So another situation we had was when my husband had to do a blood work. Just for taking his blood to check for symptoms in his body, he was asked to pay $600, guys. $600. So this is the reason why I say, if you are on a visitor's visa, you don't have money and you come into Canada, peradventure while you are trying to get your work permit, you fall sick or something serious happens and they need to rush you to the hospital, how would you pay? These are one of the things you want to consider. I always share things on this channel, immigration tips, strategies, how you can come in. But I thought to jump into this and talk about this and let you know that not everything you see on social media is true. Consider it if you are one of those coming into Canada with a visitor's visa with the intention of transitioning to a work permit. I hope this video helps anyone who has this mindset, who is nurturing it, or who has already come in. Be strategic. Hit the ground running, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Have a nice day.